Now let's get to the scheduled program. Welcome, hip hop fam. This is the Lost Element brought to you by Hippie, where we hear from the real defenders of the culture. Yo, what's good, LA? Y'all listening to Lost Element on KQBH 101.5 FM. You know, today we're here at the home studio. We got another real defender of the culture here. But you know how we do it here on this show? What you write, my boy?
Right, Z-E, Sonso, some other Unseen Crew, y2k, 24/7C, Acid Boys.
That's right, man. So I always like to just start it off, bro. Like, just tell us a little bit about where you grew up and how you got into graffiti.
I grew up right here, literally right here, like a block over there on a place called Ravina Street. Grew up there at Grandma's pad, spent some time in Long Beach, Lakewood, Gardena, Torrance.
Just a whole harbor.
Yeah, all over the South Bay Harbor area. This is home.
That's right, man. You know, just growing up in the South Bay Harbor area, bro, like what is it that got you into graffiti?
Honestly, I mean, I was looking at graffiti extremely young, like 4 or 5 years old, going to downtown LA, on the freeways and like smashing through Alameda and the fruit and vegetation district because my aunt had a restaurant right here. So it was like really stepping stones of like building the map in my head of the layout of LA. And then the restaurant was in Weemoss, so the bridges in Long Beach. And then my time traveling and living around different spots around here just really was like really young. And it showed me what I had to play with.
Man, that's right, bro. Dude, like just being like that age, like just going around, like was there some names that you saw that like kind of stuck out to you when you would see that graffiti at the young age? Or
when I was a kid, it was like Sevens, P2D, Who Mob, H&R, LCF. But like, there's a gang of other I was seeing I was really young too, like a lot of the CBI from LA when I was a kid, in Hollywood and Melrose. Yeah. It's like maybe 99. Started noticing graffiti like in 96. Started writing by like 2001, 2002.
That's right, man. You know, from there, like you said, like 2001, 2002. Did anyone like mentor you, put you onto the game, or was it kind of like self-taught? Like,
No, it was a lot of cats that I had mentoring me, and like a lot of that I was seeing. Like my cousin was Tons. Battle lived around the corner from my grandma's house. So we're always like neighborhood kids. Way before graffiti, we were just like neighborhood kids. All the older punk rock homies from South Bay Punks had like a big stepping stone for my graffiti because we all scratched on and rode on. Like skated and rode BMX. But like, yeah, CMS's, saw them a lot just here in Carson. Yeah.
that's right, man. You know, like you said, you got those mentors. But do you remember like when it was like the first time like you actually went out to go bomb or even hit a piece?
Yeah, I remember writing with like the SHs when I was like 13 and like battle, and we would go out to like Westminster, and then this didn't really like racking, and that was kind of my thing back in the day. And then when I like in my late teens, linked up with a crew called y2k. They're like an outskirts from the East Coast that the homie was running right here on the north side of Weemoss, and we're just like writing and trapping. Like all you ever was hustling, really. And graffiti was just like the thing we did, you know? We'd go rack up and go to a party and then not being able to sleep, like, oh, let's go run that. And, you know, that spot's been there for a minute, or doing hop like out of the car. Yeah.
That's right, bro. One thing I want to ask too is like, how did you get your name?
I used to write Zest, but I had a bunch of other names, and then like Zester was like a big name already, so like the similarities are too much. But I used to write ZST, so I just cut it down to Z. And then like from the early 2000s to now, it seems like a few other Z's have popped up. But I mean, to is their own, you know. Graffiti's graffiti.
Yeah.
But yeah, I used to write Zest. That only lasted like, I don't know, like 8 years. Kind of cut it down.
For sure, man. I want to ask too, bro. Like, like seeing your work, some of your hitters, dude. Like, you got a dope style, man. Like, I just want to ask, like, how did you develop your style?
Just watching the history, really, I think my style really kind of says that too. It's like a bite of this and a piece of that, and like, you know, just being influenced by what I already saw done. And then 3D just comes from like the art aspect, you know, just 3D simple perspective and drawing, shit like that. So I've been doing that way longer than I was doing graffiti, so it just kind of made sense.
Yeah. So like, would you say like from the beginning, like you were always someone who was like into the arts?
Yeah, definitely. I was like trying to do my early comic book shit when I was like 6, and my cousins drew, and then my uncle from the hood did tattoos, and art was always generally really there on like mom's side of the family, and the creativity definitely was young, because I was doing like model cars and mini dioramas when I was like 9 through 12. And that's kind of how I learned everything.
Yeah.
There used to be the shop in Long Beach called Model Mania. Some old white guy named Chuck ran it. So like the Mini Impalas, the Bel Airs. There used to be this crazy Japanese guy, like veteran from Japan named Masaki, and he'd be doing like this blacked out Camaro with like a fucking machine gun turret in the back.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the shop really had gave me like my foundations for my career type shit. I learned a lot with Chuck.
That's right.
Yeah, he ended up getting hit like in '08 because the cops went in there like a spray paint bus.
Yeah.
And it was kind of stupid because like a little ass 6-ounce can of spray can is what they got it for.
Yeah.
Like fools ain't riding with that shit.
Damn.
Yeah,
It was like just like meant for like the little model cars.
I was already older at the spray cans. Yeah. They're little model car cans, and they fucked the shop for that shit.
Damn, that's all bad.
Yeah, I remember when that shit happened. I was already a little older, and I was like, because this fool always used to be like, "You're not gonna go right on walls, right?" I was like 11 years old, getting little cans, and he taught me can control. He taught me tips.
Oh damn.
Yeah, he knew his shit, dog. And it wasn't called can control. He was just like, lighter, you're gonna have to sand down your coats. It was like real painting type shit.
Yeah.
So he put me up on game. It kind of, like my roots are definitely right there in Bixby. Model Mania, dog. That shit was my whole life, really.
Yeah.
Good training, really young. Like 4 years of that shit. It was a lot.
That's dope, man. Like how, cause those model cars is like.
It's everything, dog. You're doing mini pinstriping. You're doing like gradient fades, like powders, and making like shit glittery, and then you're doing the fake carpets and the fake trees, and like it's everything, dog. But they make movies with that type of diorama work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Damn. So that kind of helped you with like the attention to detail.
Oh, bro, I'm telling you, that was like my foundation. That was like my education. And like I said, by the time I was like 15 doing all that, they say it takes like 10,000 hours to reach your hours of mastering any craft.
Mm-hmm.
So X-Acto blades with stencils, tape, and spray paint. Before the age of 15, before you're really even writing type shit, you already know how to use these utensils.
Yeah.
It was like clutch. And I had no clue at that age, that I would be like doing that for the rest of my life.
Man, that's what's up, bro.
But yeah.
Man, you brought it up a little bit earlier, like how like with the cartoons, the cars, but then even how you had an uncle who was like doing tattoos.
Yeah.
Art was always around you, so I want to ask like with your art style and your graph style, like what influenced the way you create things, you know?
Bro, everything from the graffiti to like the tattoos I was seeing, like hood shit tattoos, Aztec shit. A lot of the trapes from prison would land at grandma's house, so I'd be looking at the trapes, and like a trape is like the white handkerchiefs, little art. Yeah, so that was like a big influence. And then like my cousins were all doing at that time like Marvel comic shit. So like the Hulk, Wolverine, Spider-Man was big for us to draw as kids.
Yeah.
And I mean, it was basically like a life study.
Yeah.
You're studying these books, you know, you're studying this artwork. And yeah, dog, it's just life. Skateboard art, the Wet Willie, the hookups, traditional comic book shit, Gundams. Gundam was like a big thing for me, Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah.
And if you really dissect all that shit, you know, all their muscles have that second tone crease. All the Kamehamehas have a bright yellow outline, the white inside gradient glowing and shit. So I mean, you apply that. You apply what you grew up with to letters and fonts and text and design. Yeah, everything. It absorbed everything. Everything definitely influenced what I produce and how I produce it.
That's right, bro. So, man, I want to take it back though. Like when you were like really bombing these streets, you know, getting up. Like, was there a specific thing that was like your favorite to go hit up on?
I think at my peak, because I know writers who got up way more than me. I mean, some of them didn't have style, some of them just took over the world type shit, but like, I think early 20s when I had Sunken City for like 2 years, or like the Pool, wasn't really doing trains till like I was older. But I think, yeah, a good decade run. You know, I still got some pieces that are rocking in LA.
That's right.
It's hard to turn them the years, dog, because I think graffiti's just always gonna be there. So like, I still scratch on shit. I still catch scribes and tags.
Yeah.
But maybe like when I was really bombing, the Pool was fun. The yards around here, the bunkers.
Yeah.
Keeping Sunken City for as long as I had that big ass slab was pretty cool. I wish I would have kept it up longer, but you know, still gotta scratch on shit sometimes.
Yeah. Man, you bring up Sunken City. I don't know if it's how true it is, but I've been seeing like little posts, people posting it, but they're saying they're gonna try to make it to a tourist spot.
It already is. The fuck?
Yeah.
It already is, dog. That shit's gone viral. People go there just for that shit. People go there to write just for that shit. Yeah, that shit's already a burnt out tourist spot. I remember when I was a kid though, dog, like the trails were all small.
Yeah.
And like there's like a lot of bushels everywhere. Now you go down there, I mean, fools are like riding BMX down there and skating the slabs and
Yeah.
that shit definitely a little different.
Yeah, most definitely, bro. I want to ask too, like when you would go out, bro, like would you ever have like a sketch of mine, or was it just free flowing?
No, a lot of times I had a sketch of mine.
Okay.
Because if you didn't, I mean, if you think you're just gonna move off of your body doing its natural thing, I mean, that's how toy shit happens.
Yeah.
You gotta have at least some kind of visual or at least structure in your mind to see what you're gonna do. And a lot of times we'll sketch. The better shit was.
That's right. You know, I want to ask like, because you bring up like a lot of like having that sketch, like developing your style. You know, put up everything that you learned in your life into your piece. Like, would you say being more consistent is more important in graffiti, or having a dope style?
Nowadays, I mean, I think we've kind of lost that. Like in the past couple of years, I mean, I think in the past decade alone, people have kind of been more comfortable with doing throwies and like sloppy shit just to get their name up, than rather than like, you know, actual burners and pieces.
Yeah.
I would like to see people do pieces more. You know, I would like to get the culture back a little bit into traditional creative values when it comes to graffiti, but at the same time, there shouldn't be any rules.
Yeah.
So it's a free-for-all. And there's more writers than ever now, so free-for-all.
Yeah, most definitely.
But yeah, I think structure and lettering is always more visual. But if you want to get up and be destructive, go for it. Knock yourself out.
Yeah, for sure, man. Like I want to ask you too about your. You brought up some of these crews that you're repping. You know, some notable crews, bro. You know, for the listeners out there listening, like, what crews are those, and what do those letters stand for, man?
Acid Boys, like some funky, old school, straight raw graffiti. I've just been repping that for a couple months. The homie Fresh gave me a pass. And then 24/7, that's my little brother's crew. Steve, 24/7C. My little brother started that shit, so he didn't really have a choice. Just write it, because I can. And y2k is my oldest crew. Down some like Harbor area, East Coast, real graffiti, hustle shit. And then yeah, Unseen. Kind of went crazy with Unseen. Unseen forever.
Yeah. That's right, man. Like, you know, with those crews, bro, like I want to ask, like, because you were bringing up like some skate and punk, you know, so you know, for in general, graffiti is usually tied to you know, hip hop with New York, you know, but in LA, I feel like it goes to like different scenes with graffiti. So I want to ask,
No, I think you're dead on. I think specifically in LA, it's really like it's a good mixture of both punk rock and hip hop that coexist because of skateboarding and graffiti. So like a lot of writers listen to punk rock and hip hop, not just because of the similarities, but like the meaning behind like the revolutionary part, the do whatever the fuck you want part, the fuck the system part, the damn the man part, as Nerd said right here, you know? Like, yeah, dog, it all coexists, especially in LA. Or any kind of big city, really, like New York. You know, they have a good culture of coexistence between punk rock and hip hop, but just good subculture, dog, for the kids to grow up with, to any generation to grow up with.
yeah,
There's a gang of similarities between the two.
yeah, most definitely, man. Cause like, you know, for me, like I remember like learning about graffiti, getting into it, like people always say, oh, watch these documentaries, you know, just learning some history. And then like it was always like about hip hop, like these like DJ, you know, the element.
Yeah, the five elements of hip hop.
Yeah.
And writing and dance is definitely right there with them. But if you look at like punk rock without the music or anything, it's still like very meaningful lyrics.
Yeah.
That a lot of people can relate to. Like for me specifically, I grew up more on punk rock, and one of my earliest like stepping stones into graffiti was hanging out at Air Graphics with ZC, and he used to be in there with hip hop philosophy, and they had showed me like a lot of early hip hop, like Wu-Tang, and like Jedi Mind Tricks. I was like 13, 14 years old in there, like this punk rock kid with like, you know, tying jeans and a cut-off shirt, like, oh, what's this? I'm just here for some paint. I heard you guys sell paint. You know?
Yeah.
And then like looking at the walls and being like, Wu-Tang, tight.
Yeah.
Like looking into that shit and then really falling in love with like Cream. And then when I first heard Jedi, it was like punk rock with hip hop, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, for me it was definitely punk rock first, skating, surfing, bodyboarding, South-based shit. I think a lot of oldies, but I was really into like reggae. Reggae and punk rock was my shit, and then that kind of turned into like hip hop and drum and bass. So those were like my stepping stones that I grew up with as far as music. And all that shit tied in with graffiti, all of it.
Yeah.
Like graffiti was just like the backbone to all that. It was weird. Now that I think about it.
What would you say is your favorite punk band, dog?
My favorite punk band?
Yeah.
Probably Rudimentary P9 or like Oz Rotten. Had some good European and American anarchists.
Yeah.
That's
You
right.
know why is the world the way it is?
No, think that's dope. Like how you said, like graffiti's the backbone, you know, because like
It's art.
yeah, like I had homies like who are skaters, punk rockers, like really into hip hop, but like the one thing that brought everybody together was like just graph, you know, writing up, getting up. You feel me? You know, one thing I want to ask too, bro, is like, why do you do graffiti? You know?
Graffiti now more than ever is just like one of those bad habits I don't give a fuck about. It's like when you're stressed out and you're smoking a cigarette, it's just like, if I go to a new gas station that's not my usual, and I don't have a spot there, I'm like digging in the car for the scrap. I'm like, and it's not really for like the culture anymore. It's not even for society, dog. I got other outlets for that shit. It's just like, I don't got this one.
Yeah.
That's it. I don't got this one.
That's right.
Yeah. It's just like a bad habit for me. I don't think I'm ever gonna grow out of it either. Maybe like an old ass fart too, dog, like with the fucked up back, like.
Like fighters of mine.
Yeah, dog, like, you know?
My boy hands will be like this.
I'm still gonna try to push as hard as I can against that fucking glass or plastic, like. Yeah, I don't see myself ever stopping. I don't really see why either. Like, I mean, yeah, it's fucked up society, but it's not for society.
Yeah.
It's like a bad habit. It's a really bad habit.
I like that. It's not for society.
Yeah, it's not for society. It's not even for other writers anymore. It's just like, I don't have it. And those scribes are probably gonna outlast me.
Yeah, they're forever.
Yeah, some of those scratches for sure. And if I got a can on me and I'm feeling frisky after the night, you know, fuck it. If I'm feeling it, dog. Graffiti's just more feeling for me now. Instead, if I wanted clout, just go fucking paint naked or something. Go do a mural on another fucking pink rich lady's house. Yeah, dog, like, graffiti's for me. Graffiti's my bad habit. And if you slash me or hate on it, or if I fucking see it, cool, it'll give me a little giggle, but at the beginning of it, you know, it's still for me.
Yeah.
Validation's out the door, dog.
For sure. I want to ask you, man, because like, you know, us being in LA County, you know, I look at it as like this is one of the hubs of graffiti. But for the listeners out there who are listening in, like not on the West Coast in LA, like how would you describe LA's graph culture?
Top tier. Us, New York, Australia, Sydney, like Germany, London. Any major city in the world where there's creative kids that are willing to do some illegal shit, whether it be out of ego or self-expression or whatever the fuck you want to call it, like every major mecca is just home to like a good creative subcultures. That include all of them now, really, because it's like a global thing. It's hip-hop, punk rock, and vandalism.
Yeah. How would you say like LA stands out from the rest? Like what makes LA different?
We pioneer some shit. I think there's a lot of good writers that, you know, hit here and are still kind of pushing the scene. Like some of the new MSKs.
Yeah.
Going global with their shit, you know, doing the thing. I think those cats are just kind of like, they're just pushing the game on a global level.
Yeah.
Especially with all this repellent shit, I mean.
Like
fuck that.
secret service and shit, bro. Those things are.
No, it's just organized, you know, you got a good spotter, you know what the fuck you're doing.
Yeah.
You know, you trust your equipment, you trust your training. A lot of fools just think that like, I'm gonna go hang off a building. Nah, like even when we were kids, you know, I would steal like my dad's gardening fucking tree trimming equipment.
Yeah.
You know, from harnesses and shit. I'm like, then we would be racking like the OSHA safety harnesses from the hardware stores, you know, and then when we were kids at least, and even just like a belt sometimes.
Yeah.
Like I'm just be like, yo, hold this, I'm gonna hang right here. I'm like, Nicky, you slipped, that's not your fault. I'm gonna go tell your mom, dog. That's just gonna suck. Your kid just fucking slipped out of my hands. Yeah, dog, it's always a possibility, but nowadays, like I said, some of these cats are taking like actual training classes for fucking rappelling.
That's what's up.
Yeah, there's a class out in Vegas that I know a couple of the homies went to, and I'm like, I guess, but at the same time, that includes some of these fools' jobs. Like the homies who put up the weed paste on the giant buildings and shit, the advertising stickers, and some of these cats are fucking cleaning windows, and it just makes sense. You know, you got the boss to take on a job like that, you're making a good living, and your fucking job's gonna send you to go train for this shit.
Yeah.
And then some of the homies are just learning from them. And that's, I think, really where it's at, where you're spreading the knowledge. You're training other riders how to rappel.
Yeah.
Fuck that. Yeah.
For sure, man. Man, I want to ask, bro, because is graffiti, is it art or is it vandalism?
That shit's fucking vandalism. If you want an art, go fucking find someone to pay you to do a mural on the wall. Go fucking illustrate a book. You want to be an artist? Go be an artist.
Yeah.
The whole, you gotta get up before you're an artist day and age, that shit's out of the fucking, on social media, fuck that up. If you wanna go get clout and paint some shit, go for it. And I think right now, like, yeah, art's art and graffiti's vandalism.
Yeah, most
You
definitely.
go ride on some fucking hard-working fool's truck. You see that shit drive around the truck? It's like, you see that shit drive around the city? You know, that's vandalism. Yeah, I used to love trucks. I still love trucks. But yeah, graffiti's,
Cars.
yeah, graffiti's graffiti, dog. Art. I do that shit too. Art.
For sure.
Yeah.
Oh man, I want to ask you, bro. You got any funny or wild stories from like a mission now, bombing?
Oh, shit. Funny. I was with only one time right here on the 110,
Yeah.
and like the elevation of the cement is like 3 feet high to the fence, and fucking we're all running to hop in it, and I get up and I start pulling, and I'm like, ah, fuck. And I feel only's just like, well, you're gonna be fucked up. So I feel pushes my fucking foot up, and I'm like, no, dog, thank you. Made that a lot faster for me. I was kind of skeptical about getting over the shit real quick. Yeah.
Really get your ass on there.
Yeah. Or like one time I was with Hate, and we were doing the unseen roller in Chinatown, or like the historical park over there, in the Fabric 37 yard.
Yeah.
And I had this big ass blade on me, and I grabbed that shit like a dumbass. And I'm like, fool, we just finished our piece and I cut myself. And I was just like, I got some Indian remedies that'll seal that shit up. We don't got no bandits. I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? He was like, I need an onion. So this fool like cuts off the onion layer and puts it on my finger like a band-aid, and I can literally feel my fucking finger just sucking the life out of the fucking onion. Like, damn, nigga, that shit really worked, dog. Like, how you know that?
Yeah.
Or this other one where like there's this the downtown LA billboards used to be on the side of buildings, so they weren't that high. And it was me in battle. And we had seen like a rent-a-cop pull up, and we thought it was a cop, so we had finished like a burner outline.
Yeah.
And we're sliding down the ladder. And the fool's like, hurry the fuck up, fool! And I'm like sliding down, and I slip when that fool yells. I landed on the trash can, and was like, bah! And then the next morning, I'm like, kind of like, you know, sobering up, and was just like, cool, just stand up real quick, and then just completely collapse, like, ah! I'm all crawling down and shit. Grandma's like, what the fuck's wrong with you? I was like, I don't know. Can't feel my hands. Yeah, and then, you know, that was like a scary one, because I was fucking running around with a cane for like 3 months. And then I grew out of that shit, but like, I feel that shit now. I feel that shit now. You know, I went away after a couple fucking months as a kid, but I feel all that shit now.
Damn.
Oh, I got a really good one, dog. What the punk rock homies right here on Anchor. And fucking, not even graffiti, dog, just like an orange can. We fuck up the whole fucking neighbor's wall, dog. We're just like a bunch of punk rock anarchist bullshit, fuck the system. And the cops pull up at the homie's porch and they're like, you, come here. And I'm just like, yeah, I did that shit. So they hand me up and call moms. And then like nothing happened, dog. Like 4 months went by. And I'm like, we gotta go to court? Or like, what's going on? And mom's like, here, stupid ass. And she hands me an apology letter from the sheriff. And mom had pulled some of her fucking magic.
Damn, that's what's sad. That's what's sad.
Yeah.
Shout out to moms.
Yeah, dog. And to this day, that letter is like in a storage container somewhere. I've been trying to get a hold of it, but yeah, we just lost moms 3-4 years ago, so that's like some shit I gotta get my hands on. Yeah, I was going through it for a while, dog. Losing moms was like, yeah, cause she told me a gang of my not so legal activities. Mom was like, yeah. But yeah, she threw me an apology letter from the sheriff's, dog. And basically one of her clients where she worked was a DA.
Oh shit.
Yeah. We became good friends as I got older. Yeah, dog, but that was a good one. Yeah. Feel the punk rock homies, I'm sure still remember that night.
That's dope. I would frame that. The sheriff apologizing.
That's kind of why the only reason I want to get my hands on it, because it's got to go on a shirt and some stupid ass shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, dog. I know. But that was like one of those moments that was like we were saying earlier, you feel invincible when you're that age.
Yeah.
As you get older, like I said, you find out no one's untouchable, dog. When we all go to the same place, it's not like any of us are gonna get out of here alive.
Yeah. Most definitely, man. Just going off of that, bro, like, what's one of the biggest lessons the game of graffiti has taught you?
I think I found a lot of my fundamental, like, entrepreneurial tactics from graffiti. From, like, the art of war, and just carrying yourself professionally, and that's just it. You gotta carry yourself professionally no matter what you do.
Yeah.
You wanna be a criminal? Good. Be professional. You wanna be an outstanding artist and citizen? Cool. Be professional.
Yeah.
You wanna be a gangster? Cool. Be professional. You know, be a man. That shit seems to be lacking these days too. Just being a fucking man is hard for some niggas.
For real, man. Alright, bro. We're gonna take a little break. We're gonna play some music. Y'all listen to Lost Element on KQBH 101.5 FM, a community service of the Boyle Heights Arts Conservatory, broadcasting live on your FM dial and streaming on KQBHLA.com. We'll be back after this music break. Yo, we're back. Y'all listening to Lost Element on KQBH 101.5 FM. Community service, the Boyle Heights Arts Conservatory, broadcasting live on your FM dial and streaming on KQBHLA.com. We're going to jump straight back into this interview, man. So, we're just talking about how you grew up doing graph, painting walls, but I want to ask you, man, like what the transition was like for you, hosting workshops, teaching art, just becoming an entrepreneur.
That shit was just like, I wouldn't say what I wanted, but I don't think I'd accept anything less than like going professional, especially with like the artist background. So in 2011, there was like this nonprofit in Wilmington called Urban Arts. And like they were having problems with their budget and they're just fucking off cash. And there's another writer who did like this shitty ass rendition of these 3D letters. And I was like, yo, this is trash. And I was like 21, 22 at the time. And I was comfortable enough with like my stencil work and blade work that I was just like, yo, just stencil that shit, bro. That shit has a gang of detail. Like you're not gonna be able to get that thin. Even with the thin cap and super kind control. Like it was just, the design was impossible.
Yeah.
And the design was done by some girl, I forget her name. She was like a really good designer. And I did those letters and Harvard College noticed and the nonprofit had got like funding. They had like a party for like funding. And before I know it, they're like, hey, fool, you want to go back to college for a design cohort? And I was just like, what? Sure. And I already had been playing with Photoshop since I was a kid. But like that was really like the start of it right there, was this nonprofit. And then from there I started they're like ending urban arts, and then started this thing called Streetcraft LA, and they kept on hiring like these weirdo teachers to try to teach kids how to become entrepreneurs. And I was just like, yo, you guys want to learn how to fucking make shirts and design shit?
Yeah.
And I was kind of leading the way. But like my 4th year in, bro, I was getting fired and rehired, and like it taught me a lot. At the same time, it got me a lot of good walls, like a lot. Like the Santa Monica Pier when I was like 24. I had a studio space in Santa Monica at 24 to 27. Venice Beach. We're selling art to like Robert Downey Jr.
Damn.
Yeah, and like had a bunch of good walls in the Culver business district.
Yeah.
So like I painted Blur Studios. They did like all the Halo games.
Yeah.
So I did Blur Studios, the Santa Monica Pier, a gang of restaurants. And that was kind of like the beginning of like a non-profit art career. And then because I was teaching the kids that they would get and like outdoing their teachers, I remember that turned into like, I was doing like one of the earliest spray can sipping paints type things,
Yeah.
like 15 years ago. And I was doing that shit with the spray can and stencils. And we started off at the high schools, and then Snapchat adapted that shit. I toured with Snapchat for 2 years, so like every major city. And that shit was cracking though, because I was like, you're getting paid, they're paying for traveling, board, food, and room, you're getting to blow money, you're getting like money in your pocket, and you're fucking destroying all these cities at night while you're not working for the company. Like, that was fun, bro. That was like my first thing. And then when I started noticing like how much money my portfolio had got and where that money was going, I spoke up about it, and they couldn't explain themselves. Like, quit that nonprofit shit. And then I started my own thing. I think after that, after the nonprofit, I started teaching for LAUSD. I was an art teacher for 3 years, and I just couldn't be like I couldn't be a mentor to fucking 80 kids plus a year.
Yeah.
And all these little kids you're getting attached to, and like they have their own lives. And at that time, my son was around that age, and I was just like, damn, these kids at school are bad. I got one of these at home. I should go take care of that fool. So yeah, I mean, I did that for a while, and like I said earlier, bro, it's just really how you carry yourself. Like being able to pitch and design always helped, and damn, designing has like a whole fucked up root too.
Then when you brought up like the LAUSD thing, man, like
Bro, I had a crash course to my teaching credentials.
oh really?
Had like the youth safety class.
Yeah.
Took like another class for teaching, had like 4 of them. My homegirl was like leaving her position, so she was like, yeah, I think you'd be a good fit here. You're good with the kids, you have teaching experience, like. And yeah, bro, like teaching was fun, but it wasn't my thing. They say those who can't do, teach.
Yeah.
And I was still very much doing it at the time, so I might go back to teaching when I get old. Maybe like a retirement fund or something.
Yeah, for sure, man. Like, bro, like when you went to like what people call quote unquote legit, you know, when it comes to art, especially coming from like a graffiti background, bro. Like, did you ever get that feeling like you were leaving something behind, or?
Nah, cause I was always still bombing.
Okay.
I was always still painting. I was always still tagging on shit at least.
Yeah.
So like graffiti never left. I just, you know, when you start getting big walls and shit like that, and like, I remember going into like a second year of painting at the pool and being like, bro, I haven't stole paint like in fucking a year and a half, bro.
Yeah.
I wonder if my sponsors that don't know they're sponsoring me miss me. I wonder if the hardware stores are like, you know?
Yeah.
And you know, all those jobs just kept me like, they kept my studio spaces stuffed with gear, dog. Cause I was always over budgeting on big walls.
Yeah.
Like if I knew I needed like 50 cans, that'd be 100. Like I was always for sure over budget, overstocking on shit. Yeah, my studio's right here up the street. On Carson, Cabrillo.
Okay, that's right.
Yeah. You'd get a kick out of it.
Yeah, man.
Come on by when you're there, when you're around there.
All right, most definitely. Yeah, we're gonna stop by.
Yeah.
I want to ask their tagger into entrepreneur. How did you navigate that world where it's like there's a business side of creativity? When it comes to like with the contracts and things like that, because
That tagger into entrepreneur article was when my studio was in the original Dogtown building in Santa Monica,
yeah,
and the Daily News or whatever it was had seen that I was like basically putting kids up on game, like, yo, you guys just don't need to get up, you guys can put this shit on a shirt,
yeah,
and find a style that might be appealing to the public, or like easy quotations and tags. And the newspaper did an article on that, on writers into entrepreneurship, because we were pushing a lot of the high school kids around there to like produce work. And the shop in the Dogtown building was selling gear. It's selling gear and art.
yeah,
So I remember like had a shirt that was like "I Can LA," but it was like a spray can. So it was like "I Can LA."
yeah,
That shit was pretty hot. Remember the homie Natus too. The homie Natus had like this colorful ass serape, and he was like doing it by brushes and layers and stuff. And I remember like, yo, grab the tape, pull some stripes. And his shit was like a hot seller down there. That had landed us like a contract. It landed me with a contract at Santa Monica Pier too, after I did the walls, to like sell like these hand painted goods.
yeah,
And that was like, 15, 17 years ago, bro, before a lot of people were like really on that. And I feel like New York had a good way of like mainstream art selling through the 80s. And then LA had like a bit of like the brainwash Banksy shit,
Yeah.
where a lot of people were slaying that crap. And I think I just got like the end of it, like the end of that trend, where I was just like, all right, I can produce some shit with stencils real quick and sell it like drugs.
that's right. Man, I want to ask you like about like with the murals, like doing murals for companies, restaurants, apartment buildings, even like the pier, bro, Santa Monica Pier. Millions of people go there every day.
Yeah, I see that shit.
Like with those, like I'm pretty sure it's like the client tells you what they want in those works, but like what type of stories are you trying to tell with your art when it comes to the murals?
I think you pinpointed it, bro. Like most of these people and companies have an idea of what they want, and that makes my job easier. Cause I remember the Santa Monica Pier was like 3 weeks of back and forth. And initially I did like the sick ass squid,
Yeah.
with like, this vibrant ass jellyfish with tentacles, and like, they're like, yo, that shit's dope.
Yeah.
But cut that shit back a lot, bro. Think kindergarten art here. And I'm like, what? It's just too tight? Like, what do you mean it's too tight? Like,
Yeah.
What do you mean you want some fucking generic ass shit? And that's why my name didn't go on it.
Yeah.
And I find myself doing like a lot of that shit, a lot of catering where it's just like, they don't even want your style. They just want you to paint what they want.
Yeah.
And that's cool, it makes my life a lot easier. Like when I design now, like it's $150 an hour. You gotta tell me what you need and what you want. You get 3 or 4 tries, and if I don't get you, you don't know me the rest.
Yeah.
It's simple for me, bro. And it's kind of fucked up the creativity side too, dog, because like I can paint whatever I see. But when like, if you ask me to paint whatever I want, it's just like you're gonna get bitches, drugs, and money. You're gonna get like half naked women, like with the strap, and a sombrero or some shit, but like,
Coke on their ass.
yeah, I like when clients know what they want. Like, it's gonna make my job so much faster and so much easier.
Yeah.
And I guess that's where the creativity comes in. Like, if you can interpret what their cheesy ideas are into like something dope,
Yeah.
and you guys are both at an equal understanding with the paycheck, cool. But there's a big part of being professional about that too. being able to execute renderings, digital renderings, and designs right correctly for you to get the jobs, that's always a must. And there's so many artists nowadays that it's like overly saturated with crappy art, so it makes getting a job that much easier when it's like 100 people submit crap, and then they see your work and you're like, oh, it's alright, I'll go with that one. He's a little bit more expensive, but I'll go with that one.
Yeah.
It's like I said, we're overly saturated with creatives these days. Too much.
Yeah.
Makes it easier for the good ones, at least. There's a lot of good ones too.
Dude, I like that, man, how you're talking about like when you're doing these murals, like commercial murals, bro, but like you still keep that authenticity and creativity there, you know?
Yeah, you gotta bring your own style to all the shit you're spitting out, dude, because at the end of the day, even if you don't want to put your name on it, if you're not proud of their ideas, like, you're still the one doing it.
Yeah.
So there's like a big, I wouldn't say pride, but like, do good shit. It's good for your portfolio. Be on time. Don't make a mess. Like, be professional, because, one couple rag job might turn into 10 more.
Yeah.
Now you're only working twice a month and you're making what your parents do. You're chilling.
Hell yeah. Man, cause like other than like the murals being like a mentor with the youth too, like you also do design, man.
Oh yeah.
So can you talk a little bit about like that side of, the entrepreneur of being an artist?
I got into design when I was 15 years old. I had just got kicked out of Long Beach. I was at grandma's pad. I needed to make some kind of cash. And me and my cousin were fucking hacking Adobe and selling it to college kids.
Oh man, that's right.
Yeah, dog. And it took me a couple months, and I was like, why this was paying a couple $100 for this shit? Like, what's this shit do?
Yeah.
And at that age, I was just like, I don't know how some fools sit down for 4 hours and play video games. I can't do that shit. I'm too spazzy. But then with Photoshop, it was like, I can sit down for fucking 5 hours and draw on here.
Yeah.
Or manipulate images, or like, make shit. So by the time that cohort and that design school came around, it was just like, oh, you have Adobe certification like nothing, my friend. You're good at this shit.
Yeah.
And even before that, bro, I remember like, it really didn't dawn to me then. And now that I'm thinking about it, it was like the 3rd grade. I had just moved from Carson to Long Beach. And like, I was the little weird ghetto kid in Bixby and shit. And it was the 3rd grade, I remember that shit. But I remember, I drew like a comic strip with like an N64 in like the living room, and did that shit kind of fast. And that teacher was like, she had called my mom, was like, yo, this nigga's onto something.
Yeah.
This fool got it. And I don't know what the fuck she was talking about that age.
Yeah.
And I remember, I had like the first IMAX with fucking paint on it. And I was drawing all sorts of weird shit in paint, and I was like copulating pixels, squares by squares, and downloading fucking music and porn and shit. Yeah, I was just a kid with a computer.
Yeah.
Early. Fucking probably fucked that computer with like a gang of LimeWire bullshit.
Yeah.
But yeah, dog, it was started young. Didn't really think about it as a kid. By the time I was 15, I was pretty savvy with computers. And yeah, that's how I was introduced to Adobe.
Yeah. That's what's up, man.
Yeah.
Man, I always hear about like back in the day, like the getting the old school Adobe, but now it's like a membership. You gotta subscribe.
Oh yeah, I pay for that shit now. I pay monthly for that. And if any of you kids need some like game, get into computer science. Go get yourself a 2012 to 2015 MacBook Pro that runs a 32 gig processor, and download all the old CS5 on that shit for free software, bro. You get video editing, whatever you want. I mean, it's on the radio, so I don't know how legal that is, but
It's all good. We
listeners beware.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Helping
32-bit
you.
programming, dog. Free software.
That's right.
Keygens.
Man, just looking back on your journey, bro, like from tag or entrepreneur, I want to know, like, what was the biggest mindset shift that you had to go through?
Oh, bro, losing my mom. That was just 4 years ago.
And sorry for your loss, bro.
You know, I don't wish that type of pain on nobody. But when you take that type of loss, and your mentor, your day one mentor and supporter just gets, you know, just gets fucking taken or ends up where we all end up, that shit made me grow the fuck up, dog. That shit threw the ego out the door. That shit threw like money out the door. I didn't give a fuck about anything for a while. It took me like a good year after that to be like, oh, reality check, bro. Ain't no one untouchable. You know, you're so used to like paying off fucking anything you want, or bribing the fucking system, or paying a ticket, or throwing money at a problem, or fucking, you know, swindling your way, or hopping the fence out of it. There's no hopping the fence out of it, dog. We all die.
We might be valuable, but we're not untouchable.
No one's untouchable, dog. And like I said, you take a loss like that, and you learn to appreciate everything that you were taught and that this person put you up on game with.
Yeah.
And you try to live as best you can with the knowledge that you have, and you embrace who you learned it from. And that was probably one of the biggest life-changing, like, you know, moments. You take a loss, and you keep on fucking pushing. And that's kind of like the lesson there, you just keep on pushing.
Yeah.
No matter what. And when it comes to art, like, I think a lot of artists are weak these days, dog. Where you gotta have the back to labor. It's not just all like, oh, I'm gonna paint a canvas. It's like, nah, you gotta paint a canvas, you gotta paint the walls, you gotta design, you gotta shoot photography, you gotta shoot your renderings, you gotta learn different software. You gotta put yourself correctly, you gotta carry yourself like a professional. And luckily I've had that, but like, you don't really realize what you're doing till you lose something that close to you. And I think that's just like something that we all have to go through, is just losing shit to really appreciate where you're at. Like right now, I tell my fucking kid all the time, like, bro, don't fucking cry if something happens to me. Like, I decided to get on that motorcycle. I decided to fucking climb on that rooftop. I've had a good ass life. I feel blessed, dog. I feel super blessed. But you know, people really gotta take into consideration to appreciate what they have. And sadly, the way you appreciate shit is when you lose it.
Yeah.
So embrace it, you know. Carry yourself properly. Keep pushing positively. Try not to get into shit. Try not to be too gangster. Try not to be too hard, because at the end of the day, we all end up in the same place, bro. You really gotta lose some shit to appreciate what you got.
Yeah, most definitely, man. I want to ask, like, what would you say to like a young graph writer, you know, who loves art too, on top of graffiti, and wants to make art a career?
Don't focus on don't lose focus on what you love. If you want to write on shit, write on shit. But if you want to be an artist, the best artist networks are at the universities. That's where people really build their portfolios and get access to people with, you know, game in the art world, cash, sales, galleries. So if you're a writer and you want to be an artist, build your portfolio. You know, you can practice on the streets. You know, don't be afraid to push the limits, bro. I see a lot of cheesy art out here these days. I see a lot of crappy shit on canvas. You know, do something different, bro. Take everything you've grown up seeing and make it better. Push the game.
Yeah.
Make it worth it. You know, do something different that everybody else has done, but do it harder, do it better.
Yeah.
You know, you gotta progress, dog. You gotta push the industry. Push your skill level, push your mindset, just keep pushing.
Yeah.
And graffiti ain't easy, dog. You're gonna jeopardize your freedom, your life, and spend money doing that shit. You wanna be an artist, be an artist. Don't focus on whatever you want. You wanna write. whatever you do, just keep pushing and carry yourself professionally.
Most definitely, man. All right, bro. This next segment, bro, is just it's called the quick hitters, man. So the first one I got, bro, is your favorite brand of spray paint.
Currently Luke, shout out to Carlos. No offense, Alicio, I love Montana, but that white just covers, bro.
Okay.
I love you guys both. Shout out Luke, Montana.
That's right. Next one, man. What's the best local food spot?
Ooh, in Carson? Fuck. That Chinese spot on Sepulveda and Avalon.
Hey, the red beef.
Yeah,
That red beef. Oh yeah, the pork.
What is it? Little China or Chinese deli.
Yeah. There you go. Chinese deli.
We got Chinese deli. We got Pit Burger and Gardena. We got Rascals. Yeah.
That's right. All right, man. This next one, going back to the punk rock days, punk rock roots. You prefer backyard show or sold out arena for a show?
That's a good one, dog. Cause imagine if you could see like, I mean, they're not my favorite, but like imagine seeing a band like AFI's big ass in the backyard for $5.
Yeah.
So it's a hard one.
Okay.
I'm gonna leave it at that.
All right, for sure. This the last one, man, for our quick hitters. You kind of touched on it earlier, but it's a piece of advice for a youngster out there listening to this who's thinking about going out there, start becoming a graph writer.
If you want to be a graph writer, do some research, study the laws. Don't be a toy. Practice. Don't do bitch shit. Try not to take anybody's name that's already dead or fucking did their thing with it.
Yeah.
Be unique. Yeah, do your research, bro. Know what you're getting yourself into.
For sure, man. Thank you for this interview, man.
Oh, thank you for having me, dog.
Yeah, always, bro. And, you guys are listening to Lost Element on KQBH LP 101.5 FM, a community service of the Boyle Heights Arts Conservatory, broadcasting live on your FM dial and streaming on KQBHLA.com. We'll see y'all on the next one.